Well, where to begin? My soon-to-be ex-wife and I were together for 25 years, 22 of those married. Prior to this, there were no infidelities or large problems. We have 4 children, a pair of twins, boy and girl, 20 years old, a son that's 19, and our youngest daughter is 15. I filed for divorce in mid-December and had her move out of the home back to her parents. Got a lot of voicemails left and emails and even handwritten letters about how sorry she is about what she has done. I never replied in any way. When it finally dawned on her, I was really going through with this and there was nothing she could do to stop it. Something bad could have happened if her parents hadn't stayed at home to keep an eye on her. Apparently, her relationship became fully physical only recently, late November or early December. Still, she was having an emotional affair for at least 2 months before that. I don't care to find out how long, since it would not really help me in any way. Since it was a married man whom she had the relationship with, I have notified his wife, so he's getting divorced too. Add to that, they are co-workers, which how they met in the first place, and I assume they used work time to start the relationship. For those who are going to ask, how did you find out? The answer is, I didn't. Our son and daughter, the twins, they did. They saw their mother making out with the other man in public, and then they proceeded to inform me. I started digging around and found more than enough evidence of a prolonged relationship. I don't have many deal breakers and believe that marriage is something that's a continuous work in progress and you have to do your part to keep it alive and well, but cheating is something that I absolutely not overlook or forgive. It is nothing more than selfishness. I'm just telling you so you can understand me a bit better. Maybe, but that's a really reaching maybe, I could have tried to look past this if it had been a one-time thing and she immediately came to me contrite and remorseful. But she wasn't. I mean, she only started sobbing and bawling once she got caught. That to me is utterly worthless. It's easy to cry once your mess is put into the spotlight, but before all this, I have never noticed anything remorseful about her or any sign of guilt. I just cannot live with someone like that. Thankfully, all the kids were supporting and understanding when I told them that I was going to divorce their mother. Our youngest cried more than I did, but said I was doing the right thing for all of us. She did ask me if she could live with me. The other 3 already have places of their own, and I told her she didn't even have to ask. I think that's the best thing in this situation overall, just having the kids there, showing me not all those years being with my wife were a waste. Whatever she's like now, I can at least be grateful for our children, if nothing else. I love them more than anything. Unfortunately, nearly everyone we know, barring the friends who were my friends before they became the families, are trying to get me to stop the divorce and talk to her. They are asking us to go to counseling or some other nonsense. Needless to say, all those people in my list, I have cut all forms of communication with them. Sadly, that includes the in-laws, whom I really loved before all this happened, since I'm an orphan myself and saw them as the family I never had. They tried getting to me through their grandkids, which has soured them on visiting their grandparents in the near future. The kids tell me they love them, but they just cannot be around them at this time because they were being so overbearing. They have also chosen to distance themselves from their mother, though they are still in touch, obviously. I'm in therapy myself, going through some counseling, because for all that's happened. When I look back at finding out about this, I see the lack of rage and hurt is very worrying. My counselor says I have numbed myself on purpose to help me to get through this easier. Before all this, if anyone asked me how I felt about my marriage and my wife, I would probably tell them I was happy as I could be with a big smile on my face. I'm not happy that she realized how much she ruined our lives, but I'm not feeling any sort of empathy either. I can't. It's just that I look at the situation and think, yes, and how is that any concern of mine? I'm not like that. Or at least I don't think I was like that before all of this. My therapist assures me that the numbness will pass, it is part of the healing process, but here we are more than a month later and I still feel nothing about what happened. I'm honestly not sure if that is good or bad, I'll just have to wait and see. As to the rest of my life, the friends that stayed true to me aren't letting me spend much time alone. They understand that I do need some time for myself every now and then, but they don't want me to be alone all the time. It all seems so different now, you know? Now my main concern here is about our kids. For now, they are keeping away from her of their own free choice. I did not talk bad to them against their mother or anything of that sort. They just don't want to talk to her much at all. Our youngest has been hit the hardest by her mother's choices, and I have been thinking maybe having her go for some therapy too if we cannot resolve this on our own. This is what really bothers me about the whole thing, that our children reacted so severely to their mother's bad choices. I'll be lying if I said I wasn't glad that they reacted negatively to it, because it goes to show that they understand that infidelity is no small matter and that it can, like it has for us, end marriages and families. But I'm worried about long term. Will they get over this? Will they eventually form a tangible relationship with their mother? Will they heal? And now let's listen to the comments. Nashel says, just talk to them, have an honest conversation. Sit them down and explain to them that you want to know how they are handling the situation. Nothing they feel will hurt your feelings, but you want to make sure that they are alright. Your kids are all pretty much adults, even your youngest is old enough to know what's going on. So approach this pragmatically as if you are dealing with an adult. Also, good on you for not going back to her. No contact is the way to go. As much as I hate to say this, she is obviously hurting, and that may have turned her into a bit of an attention seeker. She's going through some things, but just as her mental health is important, so is yours. Don't allow yourself or your children to be put back to an unhealthy situation. OP's reply, we had a few times together, one-on-one. When I talked with them about this, it seems like it was weighing a lot on their minds. But still, they seem to be cautious, like they expect me to break it at any given moment because I didn't show any big emotion until now. Or I'm just overthinking things. They are really important to me, and I'll see about talking with them again real soon. They have been around more often since this happened and asking if they maybe would feel comfortable talking with a professional instead of me. As far as their mother and myself are concerned, I don't have any plans whatsoever to get in touch with her, though it has been hinted at me by my therapist that at one point, if she sought therapy, I might be asked to come along. But I'm not really sure I could or even want to do that. Her mental health, as cold as this sound, is none of my concern as long as it doesn't have an impact on my children in a negative way. Thank you for your advice and kind words. No more Mr. Nice Guy says, going through something similar. I discovered my wife's affair with a co-worker on Christmas Eve of all times. It had been going on for about 6 weeks. I became suspicious when I noticed a change in behavior and I checked her phone bill. 5,000 messages to one number. I confirmed by calling and recognizing the voice on the other end. We had grown apart for a period of years and shut each other off emotionally. Even though there's no excuse, I know my behavior played a big role in the state of our marriage. I also haven't been completely innocent and came clean about my transgressions, although they were not physical affairs. We are going to counseling, both marriage and individual. 18 years together is too long just to throw away without trying to fix things. OP's reply, I'm sorry to hear that, but my situations are very different. There was no change in how we were together. There was no sudden distance between the two of us. We were as we always were, and then suddenly we weren't because she chose to cheat. If there was a problem present in our marriage, and if something bothered her, she only had to talk to me. We still had our Friday movie nights. We still went out together, though I admit it wasn't too often. We still cuddled and made love. We read books together in the same room without ever being bothered by the silence. Everything was normal until it wasn't. I can understand that you might have had a big role, as you say, that played in the state of your marriage, but it is both of your responsibilities to bring whatever issues you had to the fore to discuss and resolve them. I'm perfectly capable of accepting that some people can move forward from that and work on their marriage. I'm simply not one of those people, nor I have ever been. That's all. Yeah, 18 years together is a long time, I agree. 25 years is even longer. So, what am I to make of it when she throws 25 years together for no good reason, or at least no reason that I was aware of? I hope that you and your wife can make the best of what's going on with you. I sincerely hope that you can make it better. For me, that is not an option.